With the grand displays from the Medusa clan and the Yingying royal family, news naturally reached many of the top sects within the mystic three heavens. However, the higher-ups in these super sects remained indifferent, as the sect competition was less than a year away, and their disciples were currently focused on training. At the bamboo pavilion of the incense pavilion. Hoo-hoo. The air outside is still the best. Little E pushed open the door to his room, gazing out as he spoke. He was feeling a bit helpless about being summoned to the Yingying royal family's underground palace by his elder brother, Xiao. Although he had managed to enter, Xiaoyan's presence was nowhere to be found, and he returned empty-handed. Upon returning to the incense pavilion, he learned that Xiao had gone into seclusion. The good news was that Xiao had left the fire of life and death in his room, allowing Little E to successfully advance to the next stage. If I were to fight alongside my elder brother, I could probably match a 9-turn rank 9-star Do D now, Little E thought with a smile, sensing the profound power surging within him. By absorbing the medicinal essence of the fire of life and death, my strength has surged to the level of a 5-turn 9-star Do D. Ah, it's Little E, Mu Feng greeted as he approached. Your aura has grown stronger. Though Little Yi's special status was well known, his power now seemed even more formidable. Has Xiao still not come out? Mu Feng asked, watching Little E who was sitting in the courtyard. I believe he will soon, Little E replied, glancing toward Xiaoyan's quarters. Just then, the door to Xiaoyan's room creaked open, and a figure slowly emerged. Big brother, Little E called out without a moment's hesitation. Ha ha ha, you actually broke through before me. Xiaoyan laughed heartily, giving Little E a firm pat on the shoulder. It's all thanks to the medicinal power of the fire of life and death that you gathered, Little E grinned. You broke through? Mu Feng's pupils contracted slightly, and his smile turned peculiar as he eyed Xiaoyan. I managed to reach the early 7-star Do D stage, Xiaoyan admitted. Damn it, you're all monsters. Mu Feng couldn't help but curse. He had a mysterious cultivation method that had painstakingly raised his strength to the peak of 6-star Do D. He had hoped to show off in front of Xiaoyan, only to find out that Xiaoyan had already surpassed him. Just lucky, Xiaoyan said modestly. Yeah, right. If everyone had your kind of luck, the incense pavilion would have long since dominated the Yingying continent. Mu Feng rolled his eyes. How long until the sect competition? Xiaoyan suddenly asked. About half a year, Mu Feng replied. Half a year, huh, Xiaoyan mused. Perfect, I have some pills to refine, and I should be able to complete them before the competition, he said with a smile. Where are Mu Yingying and Lu Di? Xiaoyan asked, scanning the area but finding no sign of the two. Lu Di has returned to the Medusa clan for some matters, Mu Feng said. As for Mu Yingying, I don't know much, but I have a feeling this might still end up troubling you, he added, his face turning somber. Ever since Mu Yingying's return, she hadn't visited the bamboo pavilion, and it wasn't clear if she was being kept away or what the situation was. You'd better go see for yourself in the forbidden grounds, Mu Feng suggested, sighing before heading back to his room. Big brother. Little E spoke up as he watched Mu Feng's demeanor. I've said it before, she's one of us, Xiaoyan replied calmly. I'll go check on her. You two wait here for my news. With that, Xiaoyan headed toward the forbidden grounds of the incense pavilion. At that time, the forbidden grounds of the incense pavilion had become the highest-level meeting room. Since Yin Qi's rescue, it had served as the residence of Mu Yingying and Yin Qi. Brother, I want to see him. Mu Yingying's voice was filled with longing as she gazed toward the bamboo pavilion, her eyes reflecting deep yearning. She had left her world for the mystic three heavens to find her brother, and now that she had, a great weight had been lifted from her heart, allowing her to think about other matters. No, it's too dangerous. Although you say that kid likely knows about your sacred flame, he gives me an uneasy feeling. So I absolutely cannot let you walk into a lion's den, Yin Qi said sternly. After returning, he had freshened up, but with his bright red hair and eyebrows, he still looked quite peculiar. Nonetheless, his strength was undeniable. He was at the perfect 1-star Do Xian level. Brother, Xiaoyan isn't like that. Mu Yingying protested immediately, frowning slightly, her eyes full of reproach. Silly sister, Trust your brother. I just don't want you to get hurt. Yinchi couldn't resist the girl's pleading tone, and his voice softened. No. While you were away, if not for that guy, I might have already been eaten by someone, Yingying continued. That boy's aura is too strange. Just the fact that he possesses a sacred flame is reason enough for me to not let you take any risks, Yinchi responded coldly. He knew that where there was one, there could be more. To protect Yingying, it was better to stop this right away. My dear brother, I've listened to you for so many years. Just this once, can't I do as I please? Yingying quickly walked up to Yinchi, grabbing his arm and shaking it gently. Besides, your injuries require Xiaoyan's sacred flame for healing, she added. Sigh. You really leave me no choice. But no means no. Yinchi sighed as he looked into her expectant eyes. Just as he was about to knock her out with a light tap on the back of her neck, he hesitated. Why? Why not? Yingying's eyes, once filled with warmth, suddenly turned a vivid blue, and an overwhelming surge of power erupted from her, unlike anything Yinchi had ever seen. Your brother has been through it all. Let's go back. Forget about the healing. I just want you to be happy. Yinchi's voice cracked as he finished speaking, his nose stinging with emotion. Brother, I hate you. Yingying shouted as she broke free from his grip and ran off, but her eyes still betrayed a lingering sadness. Sigh, my silly little sister. Of all human emotions, love is the most painful. Your brother has already been scarred beyond repair, and just doesn't want you to suffer the same fate. All I want is for you to live a simple, happy life. What did I do wrong? Even with his perfect one-star Do Xian strength, Yinchi felt utterly powerless, his heart aching. But there was more to Yinchi's condition than met the eye. Even the powerful Fentian hadn't noticed the unassuming bloodstains on his body, bloodstains that were filled with an evil beyond imagination. Come out, Yinchi said quietly to the empty space beside the meeting room. Youngster Xiaoyan greets senior, Xiaoyan replied, stepping out from the void. He had just arrived and hadn't overheard the earlier conversation between Yingying and Yinchi. I hear from Fentian that you played a crucial role in saving me, Yinchi said, sizing Xiaoyan up. It was nothing, senior. It was all thanks to the pavilion master, Xiaoyan modestly deflected. Yinchi was said to be a powerful figure from Fentian's era, and with a sacred flame as well, even Fentian might not be able to defeat him. You're humble. Not bad. You have great potential. I've only ever seen Fentian praise a disciple like this once before, Yinchi said, turning to Xiaoyan. Once before? Xiaoyan asked, surprised. Yes, once. It was decades ago, Yinchi replied. Who was it? Before Fentian took over as the pavilion master of the Incense Pavilion, he traveled the world. During one of his journeys, he adopted a stray child. From the moment that child began following Fentian, he displayed incredible talent in cultivation, far surpassing even Fentian's own achievements. His character was strong too, and Fentian poured everything he had into training him. Fentian treated him like his own son and spared no effort in his training. But during a sect competition, that child met an untimely death. The cause of his death is still unknown, as it happened during the competition. No one knows for sure what went wrong. Fentian was so furious that he stormed the Xinling royal family 3 times, killing many of their top experts. On top of that, since our incense pavilion is allied with the Medusa tribe, and the Xinling royal family is their mortal enemy, we've been sworn enemies ever since, Yinchi explained. Just how did that senior brother fall? Xiaoyan asked. That's unclear, Yinchi replied slowly. That disciple's name was Yin Tong. When Incense Pavilion made its final search, they found only a few traces connected to the Xinling royal family. This time, during the sect competition, if possible, let's uncover the truth for him, Xiaoyan said. After all, that place exerts immense pressure on a powerhouse like Incense Pavilion. Back then, when he entered recklessly, it left him with lasting injuries, Yinchi added. I'll certainly do my best. Through their conversation, Xiaoyan learned that Yin Tong had likely perished at the location of the last sect competition. As for the precise cause, it seemed that this time, it would be up to them to find out. By the way, Yin-Chi's voice suddenly took on a more casual tone. Are you the Xiao Yin who's left my sister, Mu Yingying, head over heels? Caught off guard, Xiao Yin hesitated. Senior, Mu Yingying, she? I'm a sacred flame transformed into human form. She's my sister. What do you think? Yin-Chi shook his head slowly. But she's also my companion. Xiao Yin felt an invisible weight lift from his heart as he responded softly. Companion, friend, call it what you will, Yin-Chi said firmly. In a few days, I'll be taking her back. That's probably best, Xiao Yin admitted, a touch of regret in his voice. The human world is filled with dangers, and when it comes to a treasure like the sacred flame, it's hard to find anyone who wouldn't be tempted. He thought of Sun Er and Kai Lin, feeling a sense of peace despite his reluctance. Yin-Chi glanced at Xiao Yin, muttering to himself, what is this kid up to? Before leaving, Xiao Yin offered, Senior, before you depart, let me help treat the injuries you carry. Consider it a token of goodwill toward Mu Yingying. Yin-Chi was thoughtful for a moment, then nodded. All right, though I doubt you'll be able to heal me entirely just yet. Why do you say that? Xiao Yin asked, puzzled. In half a year, the sect competition will begin. To fully heal me, you'll need something from that event. Yin-Chi shook his head slowly. Xiao Yin nodded, understanding. I'll remember that. Yin-Chi continued, so, for now, focus on your cultivation. Before the competition, I'll brief you on what to look out for, and on what I'll need for the healing. Xiao Yin thought of Mu Yingying again. And Mu Yingying. Yin-Chi sighed, Xiao Yin, I sense you carry more than just power. Your future will be remarkable, but Yingying is an ordinary girl. As her brother, I don't want her caught up in all this. You understand, don't you? Xiao Yin gave a faint smile, finding a sense of relief in the elder's words. You're right, Senior. Mu Yingying and I are companions, but that's all. Though Xiao Yin was aware of her feelings for him, he was committed to Sun Er and Kai Lin. He knew that betraying their trust would land him in serious trouble. Seeing Yin-Chi's concern for his sister, Xiao Yin admired him. It reassured him that Mu Yingying had such a caring elder brother. Go on, then. Yingying is waiting for you in the grove outside. If you'd like, see her before we leave, Yin-Chi finally said, unable to deny his sister a final meeting. Thank you, Senior. With a polite bow, Xiao Yin headed in Mu Yingying's direction. Meanwhile, inside Xiao Yan's storage ring, the Golden Dragon King sensed Yin-Chi's energy, a subtle smile crossing his face. For now, he couldn't reveal himself to Xiao Yin and Yin-Chi, but he felt a strange presence. Is that a member of the Xiao clan? Could someone have escaped from the human realm's core? In an instant, the Golden Dragon King's form shimmered, and two faint figures materialized within the storage ring, one appearing to pursue the other in a desperate chase. Why would a Xiao clan member be hunted by the human realm's enforcers? Murmured the Devourer of Souls from within the soul-devouring talisman. Judging by his strength, he can hold on for a while. It seems I can't stay in Xiao Yan's body anymore. I'll have to help this guy resurrect his ancestor, then save that other Xiao clan member, and finally return to the Dragon Clan with the two Xiao clan members in tow. The Golden Dragon King finished, suddenly drooling slightly. Carefully collecting it in a beautifully crafted jade vessel, he stored it prominently in his storage ring before falling silent again. Out for a solo stroll? Outside the conference room, a graceful figure wandered aimlessly, seemingly lost in thought. She had originally come to the human world to search for her brother, but after finding him, she no longer felt a desire to leave. In the past, her mind had always been filled with her brother's image. Now, Xiao Yan's presence occupied her thoughts. Mind your own business, the figure replied with slight irritation, not bothering to turn around. Her tone hinted at her less than cheerful mood. Hearing this, Xiao Yan paused, then chuckled awkwardly. Xiao Yan? But no sooner had the words left his mouth than Mu Yingying turned her gaze to him. After all, this was the forbidden area of the incense pavilion, where people rarely ventured. The voice was unmistakably familiar. You seem a bit out of it. Haven't been resting well? Xiao Yin said gently. At that moment, Mu Yingying's first reaction upon seeing Xiao Yin wasn't joy, but fear. She feared he might misunderstand her or judge her harshly. Though she was also human, Her essence was that of the sacred flame. Having heard countless stories about humans consuming sacred flame beings as cultivation resources, she worried Xiao might harbor similar thoughts, and this made her uneasy. "Don't worry," Xiao reassured her. "To me, no matter what you are, we're close friends. We made it through the trials of points together and reached the mystic three heavens. We've been through a lot," he added, noticing her apprehensive expression. "But," Yingying hesitated, struggling to voice her fears. "But I'm a sacred flame transformed into a human. Aren't you afraid that one day I might lose control and kill you?" As for Xiao possibly killing her to take her sacred flame, the thought had never crossed her mind. She knew Xiao would never do such a thing. "Relax. I'm not as fragile as you might think. Even if that day comes, I'd accept it willingly," Xiao said, smiling. "Aren't you curious about me and my brother's story?" Yingying asked, a glimmer of excitement in her eyes at his words. "Well, yes, a little. My brother, Yinchi, was a powerful cultivator, at the perfect one-star Dou level. So how did he end up imprisoned by the Xiao royal family? Their strongest member only reaches early one-star Dou level." Xiao curiosity about Yinchi's situation was genuine. "According to my brother, Yingying began, we were born in a sacred place, a land that granted us the ability to transform into humans. My brother, being stronger, eventually left me to explore the human world. Once here, he hid his sacred flame nature and began training from the rank of one-star Dou D, eventually meeting the one known as Funtian. He went through many trials, but when the Xiao royal family captured him, he was only at the peak Dou D stage. My brother was also confused when it happened, sensing his captor wielded an ominous power, possibly from the extraterritorial evil clan." Yingying continued, speaking quickly and passionately. Xiao nodded thoughtfully. The sacred flames had a natural ability to detect the extraterritorial evil clan's aura, and this connection, along with the blood curse on the Xiao royal family brothers Qihaoran and Qihaoan the Jiaoyu ruins, made Xiao suspicions grow. "It seems the Xiao royal family is far more complicated than we thought," Xiao murmured, shaking his head slowly. Based on his speculation, it seemed unlikely that Yinchi, with his ties to the incense pavilion, could have been captured solely by the Xiao royal family. The involvement of the extraterritorial evil clan seemed like the only plausible answer, and he sensed a deeper, more dangerous alliance between them. But something else puzzled him. If the Xiao royal family were in league with the extraterritorial evil clan, why would Xiao Emperor Xuanxin collude with the ghost realm within the 7th layer of the underground palace? The idea of both the ghost realm and the extraterritorial evil clan being involved seemed baffling. My brother's enmity with the Xiao royal family runs deep. Besides, he holds the position of Grand Elder in the Incense Pavilion. So in this upcoming sect competition, we'll be ready for a real battle," Yingying said with determined interest. I just finished my seclusion today and hurried over to check on you," Xiao said offhandedly, but regretted it almost immediately. Yingying replied, a flicker of joy flashing in her eyes, though she hid it well. The two of them walked in silence around the forest for a while before Yingying spoke again. "Xiao, if I leave, will you miss me?" She hesitated, then finally asked. "Yes, I will." Xiao response was quiet, but he met her hopeful gaze and gave a slight nod. "Thank you." Her eyes sparkled with a soft, vivid light, a hint of happiness she kept to herself. Xiao, however, had no idea that her idea of missing held a secret meaning only she knew. "This time, once you return, you won't need to come running out anymore," Xiao reassured her. "The Great Thousand Worlds is vast and full of dangers. With your special status, you could attract unwanted attention. And I, with the sacred flame in me, will have to face the extraterritorial evil clan. So, we'll meet again." At the mention of the extraterritorial evil clan, Yingying hesitated, then asked, "About that thing inside you?" "It's no longer an issue," Xiao said reassuringly, hoping to ease her concerns. "Good. Since you and your brother are both safe, I'm relieved." Seeing that she seemed in better spirits and that it was growing late, Xiao found an excuse. "I still have some pills to refine, so I'll be on my way." "All right." She nodded, though happiness lingered in her heart. It seemed Xiao Yin was just as she'd hoped. Barely a moment after Xiao Yin left, Yin Qi's figure appeared from the shadows where he'd been silently watching over Mu Yingying. After all, she was still young and inexperienced. Brother, I've decided. After this sect tournament, I'll go back with you. Watching Xiao Yin's retreating figure, Mu Yingying's smile curved, beautiful and serene. All right, Yin Qi agreed slowly. This tournament can help you confront Fantion and, at the same time, heal the hidden injuries from years of suppression. Originally, Yin Qi had been reluctant, given the unpredictable risks in the human realm. But seeing the hope glimmer in Mu Yingying's eyes, he couldn't refuse. Little did he know that this decision would ultimately lead to a life-and-death separation after the tournament. Sigh. Mu Yingying and her brother will leave after the tournament, which is probably for the best. If she stayed, things might only become more complicated. With that thought, Xiao Yin exited the restricted area and headed toward the bamboo pavilion. Normally, with his acute soul perception, Xiao Yin had noticed Mu Yingying and Yuru's subtle gestures and glances, signs of affection. Though he was often ruthless, he found it hard to turn away from them. Who would have thought that the elusive sacred flames would appear in mystic three heavens, he murmured. Recalling that both Yin Qi and Mu Yingying, sacred flame-bearers, each held two flames ranked higher than his own, though he dared not ask which. Before long, he arrived at the bamboo pavilion. Surprisingly, not a single disciple was around the usually bustling incense pavilion. Big brother, everything all right? Little E greeted him in the courtyard, unconcerned, as her cultivation followed the straightforward path of a magical beast's progression. Yes, everything's fine. Once this tournament ends, they'll return to where they belong, Xiao Yin said calmly. So, they really do each have two sacred flames? Little E murmured, still processing what she sensed. Yes, all things have their spirit, Xiao Yin replied thoughtfully. By the way, Little E, I didn't see any disciples at the incense pavilion today. Did something happen? Xiao Yin asked. Big brother, it seems your seclusion made you a little forgetful. Little E rolled her eyes. The sect tournament is vital to our sect's honor, so everyone is in seclusion training. Naturally, it's been pretty empty around here. Right? Xiao Yin sighed in mild exasperation. Oh, big brother, when you asked me to meet you in the Yingying royal family's underground palace, I noticed traces of the extraterritorial evil clan there, Little E added, recalling something suddenly. Yes, I'm aware of that. During the sect competition, be especially wary of the Yingying royal family. They've likely been infiltrated by the extraterritorial evil clan, Xiao Yin said gravely. Don't worry, I'll go with you this time, Little E said, patting Xiao Yin's shoulder with a grin. You've reached 9-star Do D already? No way, I need to start closed-door training right now. Inwardly, Xiao Yin mused, I haven't even begun using that scroll from the Jiaoyu ruins, and I can probably train further in the latter stages of the 7-layered Skybreaker ruler. Still, even though I've gathered almost everything needed to resurrect Ancestor Xiao Xin, there's one last crucial item missing, he added with a shake of his head. What item? Little E asked. Azure Dragon Dew, Xiao Yin replied matter-of-factly. Azure Dragon Dew? Only the dragon race has that. It's almost impossible to find in the human world, Little E exclaimed. Guess I'll have to look for a substitute. After all, this is the final ingredient, Xiao Yin said, clenching his teeth. Just then, huh? What's this? While fretting over the Azure Dragon Dew, Xiao Yin felt a mysterious pull from within his storage ring. Reaching in, he found a small, unfamiliar jade bottle. I'm certain I didn't have this in my storage ring. Driven by curiosity, he summoned the jade bottle, feeling an intimidating power emanating from within. Let's open it. Acting on impulse, Xiao Yin created a protective barrier around them with his immense soul power, then wrapped his hand in soul energy as he carefully removed the bottle stopper. Roar! A thunderous dragon's roar erupted from within the bottle the moment the stopper came off. Both Xiao Yin and even the powerful 9-star Do D Little E felt their Do Qi freeze like ice, while their soul powers were momentarily immobilized. Whoa, what is this thing? Both felt themselves reaching their limit after only a few breaths before Xiao Yin managed to seal the bottle once more. He stared at it in awe, muttering, This is Azure Dragon Saliva. An almost crazed smile spread across his face as he realized what he held. Azure Dragon Saliva. What exactly is that? Little E asked, sensing an intimidating aura from the thick liquid inside. It's an evolved form of Azure Dragon Dew. Only dragons of pure bloodline have a chance to produce it. It's the best material for refining and tempering the body, Xiao explained, his eyes flashing with a hint of awe. But, I'm sure I never had this before. Suddenly, Xiao thought of something, and his soul energy immediately delved into the storage ring. This must be a gift from my master, the Golden Dragon King. Yet, after some investigation, he found the golden barrier within the ring untouched. With no other clues, he had to set it aside for now. Little E, I'm going to need some intensive closed-door training over the next half-year, Xiao said with a serious expression, storing the jade bottle securely. Understood. If the sect competition arrives, we can always skip it, Little E replied, having little interest in the competition himself. No, I still need to go. I'll try to finish my training in time, Xiao said as he walked towards the Human Hall's training chamber. The chamber was a reward from the Human Hall that he hadn't used before. Finally, all the materials are ready. I can resurrect Ancestor Xiao. Xiao felt elated at the thought. Back on the Doqi continent, he had promised Ancestor Xiao, and Xiao had some personal secrets he needed to clarify with him. Xiao had been the last clan leader before the Xiao clan's bloodline began to decline, dedicating his life to reaching Do Di and preserving their lineage, even if he ultimately failed. Xiao felt certain Xiao knew things that could now finally be revealed. It's time. Heh, let the boy resurrect his clan member first. Then I'll make my move, an elderly voice echoed from within Xiao storage ring. Better safe than sorry. Despite the high security of the cultivation chamber, Xiao set up a soul barrier for extra caution. After all, the Xiao clan was quite wary on the Do Di continent, so he naturally exercised some prudence. Now that everything needed to revive our ancestors is ready, there's no rush. With 6 months left, I'll first train with the 7-layered Skybreaker ruler and the Heaven-shifting ruler. Then check the scrolls in the Jiaoyu ruins to prepare for the sect competition. After that, the revival of our ancestors will be next. Xiao reviewed his plan before speaking up. Although he eagerly anticipated uncovering the Xiao clan's secrets, he chose to keep his excitement in check for the sake of the competition. The 7-layered Skybreaker ruler is formidable. With my current level as an early 7-star Do Di, I might barely master the 6th ruler. If I push myself, perhaps I could even attempt the 7th ruler. And with the heaven-shifting ruler's combination of offensive and auxiliary power, once fully mastered, it's unlikely I'd face any equal below the 8-star Do Di. Xiao pondered. Then let's get started. Resolving himself, Xiao drew out the ancient flame ruler, infused with pure, potent energy flowing steadily into the ruler. Strange, the sacred flame and imperial flame are still incompatible. Just as Xiao began his training, channeling his internal power, he noticed the oddity. Since devouring the sacred flame, he had experimented with merging it with the imperial flame, but each attempt ended in failure. The attempt felt like forcing two completely incompatible elements together, a move that could lead to self-destruction if forced. Yet Xiao was puzzled. While the sacred flame held a terrifying power, the imperial flame was the product of combining 23 heavenly flames. Why was this fusion so challenging? In the Doqi continent, merging heavenly flames was a devastating attack. But now, with sacred flame and imperial flame, that approach seems ineffective. Shaking his head, Xiao put the issue aside, refocusing on training with the 7-layered Skybreaker ruler. 7-layered Skybreaker ruler. 1 ruler, 3 steps wandering ruler. 2 ruler, 1,000-layered wave. 3 ruler, phantom trail of shadows. 4 ruler, sky-shaking ruler. 5 ruler, heaven imprisoning ruler. 6 ruler, transmuted separation. 7 ruler, Skybreaker. Xiao sat in silent meditation, mentally reviewing the cultivation technique for the 7-layered Skybreaker ruler. Although only a low-level Immortal Do skill, unleashing all 7 rulers in sequence could rival a Saint-level Do skill, prompting Xiao to keep it as his trump card. At my current strength as an early 7-star Do D, I can manage up to the 6th ruler. The 7th ruler, however, would likely require 8-star Do D power, Xiao Yin assessed, aware he could push himself to unleash the 7th ruler if absolutely necessary, but at a steep cost, so he reserved it as a last resort. When I was in the Jiaoyu ruins, I could only manage up to the 5th ruler. Now, I'll refresh myself on those before advancing to the 6th. With his strategy in place, he wasted no time. 1 day, 2 days, 5 days passed. In these 5 days, Xiao Yin had been diligently training with the 7-layered Skybreaker ruler in the cultivation chamber, progressing swiftly. Now, he felt fully capable of handling even mid-7-star Do D opponents with just the first 5 rulers alone. It's time. Xiao Yin withdrew his aura and focused on the ancient flame ruler in his hand, whose dazzling power revealed itself. Xiao Yin sensed that this ancient flame ruler, born from heavenly flame fusion, held mysteries that might take a while to unravel. 7-layered Skybreaker ruler. 6th ruler. Transmuted separation. With a low command, Xiao Yin unleashed a force that caused the cultivation chamber's space to tremble. A fierce, annihilating power surged from the ancient flame ruler. Go! Xiao Yin focused his power, directing it at a nearby stone. Boom, boom, boom. The stone disintegrated to dust instantly. This 6th ruler is indeed terrifying. Retrieving the ancient flame ruler, Xiao Yin marveled at its power. The 7-layered Skybreaker ruler lived up to its name. The might of just the 6th ruler alone, Xiao Yin was certain, could rival the pinnacle of immortal Do skills. With a surge of excitement, he continued his training, mastering the 7-layered Skybreaker ruler with ever-increasing precision. This kid sure holds a lot of secrets. Who would have thought this ruler technique is actually the work of the 7-ruler wandering immortal? Within Xiao Yin, the soul-devouring talisman, pulsing with sinister symbols, muttered, "You know about it?" The Golden Dragon King, nearby, naturally asked. Though the 7-ruler wandering immortal lacks the strength to rank among the powerhouses of the Great Thousand Worlds, he's still taken down quite a few of the extraterritorial evil clan, leaving an impression, the Devourer of Souls murmured. With all 7 rulers in play, I doubt you could handle him as you are now, the Golden Dragon King remarked with a smile. The Devourer of Souls grew alarmed at the words. I'm gravely injured. How could I? He trailed off, acknowledging the truth in the Golden Dragon King's statement. The sacred flame atop Xiao Yan's ancient ruler of heavenly flames, empowered by the 7 rulers, exerted overwhelming pressure on him. Are you leaving? After a moment, the Devourer of Souls broke the silence. I have other matters to attend to, the Golden Dragon King replied, his voice suddenly deep and weighty. I've long heard that ever since the Great War, chaos has engulfed the Dragon Clan. Perhaps it's time for you to return, the Devourer of Souls replied, hinting at his vast knowledge. I would ask that, in my absence, you keep an eye on my disciple, the Golden Dragon King requested after a pause. As the Dragon Clan King, he knew this request carried weight with the Devourer of Souls. Not a problem. I'm counting on that kid to restore me, after all, the Devourer of Souls replied frankly. He may very well be the last of the Xiao clan, the Golden Dragon King added. The last one? Impossible.